Welcome to Declassified Discussions. We are here to talk personal encounters with the paranormal, UFO sightings, and strange occurrences with the unknown. This is one of those stories. Hello everyone, I'm Dave, and I'm joined with one of my co-hosts of the Hush Hush Society Conspiracy Hour, Frankie, or as you know him, Slick Frank Sanders.
Yo, what's up? How you doing, Dave?
Pretty good. How about you?
Chilling.
We are here to chat about personal UFO experiences. Frankie, what's your stance on UFOs and that whole phenomenon?
Well, I grew up watching a lot of Ancient Aliens, real into the alien side of like YouTube growing up, so I always believed in them. I'd like to believe that a majority of them are just, observing, but I wouldn't say all of them, and I'd like to think that they're friendly, but I don't know, I can't really say. I've never met an alien, so I've never really gotten their objective or their mission from them, but yeah, I'd like to say they're mostly observing.
As long as you don't get probed, right?
Yeah, as long as you don't get probed.
I think that if they're nice, it'd be cool to meet them. If they're mean, no way, don't want to meet you. I think they're real.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, for sure.
So have you ever had an experience with a UFO, like a light in the sky, or actually seen a physical craft?
I could recall a good couple of experiences. Not all of them can I absolutely 100% say it was a UFO. In some cases, maybe it was a satellite, maybe it was a drone. I like to stay, kind of open-minded when I have these experiences, but some of them are undoubtedly, unidentified. You can't explain it. First experience, I was probably, 13, 14 years old. I was skateboarding back home, probably from the skate park or something. I'm going down this main road, and it was fairly dark out, not so dark you couldn't see or anything, and I saw a black triangle, and it was fairly lower than an airplane would be. I can't really put a number on it. Big black triangle, a light on each point, silent, flew right overhead, and it freaked me the fuck out. I was really shook up about it. I went home, I told my mom about it. She probably thought I was just, high or tripping, seeing something. She didn't take it seriously. And the fact that she didn't take it seriously is ironic, because for the years following that, I kept more of an open eye for those sorts of things. And one time I called her like, Mom, look in the sky in this direction. You see that moving? And she saw it, and it freaked her out. It kind of came full circle. But yeah, that was like the first experience. It was freaky.
I have an experience with the black triangle too. Actually, twice. One was actually driving by a skate park.
No shit.
Yeah, that's kind of ironic. I think I was coming home from band practice. It flew right over my car. Like you said, I can't really put a number. I would say maybe like over 100 feet, but under 300 feet above me.
Yeah.
And I looked at it and I was like, man, the helicopter's flying really low, but there was no rotor sound. It was just silent. And it just kept going in one direction. And like you said, 3 points of light. And it was pretty big. I would say like 40 feet by 40 feet by 40 feet.
Yeah, I left that detail out. It was pretty big. It wasn't like a fucking drone.
That night it was cloudy too, so you could see like its shape with the light pollution and the clouds, and it was definitely there. And that was really weird. I called one of my friends and was like, yo. And he's all into it. He's like, you definitely saw the TR-3B, and which is supposed to be a military black project vehicle, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, that's like that subsonic, wicked fast stealth bomber or some shit, right?
Yeah. My second time, I had an ex-girlfriend with me, and we were driving home. It was like even lower than what I had seen before, and this was a couple years after. And I was like, oh my God, that's it. And I'm like pointing it to her, and she's like freaking out.
Really?
Yeah, she was losing it. And we took a right turn onto my street, and we were going over these train tracks, and I could see it in the distance to the right of my car instead of it being above me anymore. And I called my neighbor, and I'm like, dude, there's a black triangle going over your yard right now.
What the fuck?
He wasn't home, unfortunately. You could see it in the distance, like the thin black line, because its lights were on and then its lights went off, but it was completely silent. Super slow though, nothing crazy fast.
No shit.
It was definitely an interesting experience. How has your experience changed the way you thought?
Well, like I said, I kept my eyes open for it, for that sort of thing, looking at the sky a lot more often. I was definitely more observant, particularly at night, not so much during the day, because I feel like these sort of sightings are just less common during the day.
I've never seen anything during the day.
No, me either. It's when it's like nighttime, like it's dark, the sun has set. That's normally when I see things like way up there, like bright lights that kind of look like a star up in the sky dashing around. Sometimes I'm like, maybe it's a satellite. I don't know what that is. One time I was camping thing with Mike. The first time I saw something like that, we're all laying down looking up at the sky, and we noticed a bright light in the sky. It looked like a star, but it was kind of a different hue, and it was kind of just jolting around, you know, like very minimal movement, but you could tell it was moving. And we all watched it until eventually it just dipped, and you know, you could almost see the trail of it. It was pretty wild. From my first experience, it definitely made me more attentive, more wanting to watch, but it's freaked me out a couple times.
It's pretty wild that you actually like are compelled to stare even though you're in a moment of sheer terror.
Oh yeah, it's like a fucking magnet. I can't stop looking.
Have you seen anything since those experiences that we were talking about?
Yeah, I'd like to bring up two. This one was in high school. This one stands out in a very unusual way. Again, outside, maybe smoking a cigarette or something, looking up at the sky, and I noticed a huge cluster of lights. And when I'm talking huge, big chunk of the sky. Not all of them were moving, but some of them were. If I had to put a number on it, I'd say about 30 to 35, almost like whitish blue dots all clumped together in the sky. Like it wasn't low by any means.
Yeah.
And that freaked me the fuck out. I was with my girlfriend, and I had never saw anything like that. I was like, shit, it's the invasion. Here they are.
Yeah, it looked like a fleet, right?
Yeah, that one stood out. All of my other experiences, it's been one solo craft, I guess you could say, but this one, there was a good low 30s if it was, you know, UFOs. The last experience I had, I was actually fishing last summer, again, with my girlfriend. We're at a nearby lake. In the summer at this lake in particular, a lot of people will stay past sunset, you know, with their kids, because the fishing at this lake is just phenomenal. So we're still fishing. They've got lights in the parking lot we can see, but the sun had gone down. We're right at the bank, and I don't know why. I just like looked behind me. Maybe I heard somebody walking or something. In the sky, I noticed a craft, and it was round. It was low. I'd say about as low as the first black triangle I saw, but this one was a disc. I can't tell if it was rotating. There was definitely like a band of lights around this craft, and the lights had no particular rhythm or pattern as to how they were blinking. You would assume it'd go like left to right or right to left. It passes over our head with no sound, and I'm looking around at everybody, and none of them seem to be paying any attention to it, despite how low it is, despite how bright the lights are. And it's like nobody saw it, and I didn't want to be that guy. I ended up being that guy like last week, but I won't get into it. So it passes over our heads, and a little bit after it passed over our heads and it was in our field of vision, me and my girlfriend both got this really like creeped out sensation. It was really weird. We both had the heebie-jeebies, but we kept watching it despite that feeling. It goes over the lake. You could tell it's over the woods, and sat there for a minute and then lowered down, and we couldn't see it anymore. And at that point, we reeled in our lines.
They touched down. I'm out.
Yeah, there's a quarry very nearby that lake. That's the only place I could think that it could have gone. I don't know why. There's no big fields or clearings that I could really think of.
You know, I haven't really had anything in a couple of years. It's almost kind of a low-key bummer, but I think the last thing that I had described earlier was like 2013. It's been a minute. You'd think you'd see a lot more near all the military bases.
Yeah, for sure.
I see so much aircraft in the sky here that you really don't notice it. There's been some of the most prominent UFO sightings off the coast of Southern California. You know, the one the Pentagon re-released, I guess you should say.
Yeah. I don't know if they were leaked or if they released them, but I had first seen those videos in like 2015.
Yeah, I remember those. Well, Frankie, I want to thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you all next time on Declassified Discussions. Thank you for joining us. If you have a personal encounter, reach out to us at hushhushsociety@planetmail.com. And don't forget to follow the Hush Hush Society Conspiracy Hour.